Hello and welcome to Warrior. I'm Kalai Wong. The B-1B supersonic bomber was first delivered to the United States Air Force in 1985. Since then, the 100 Lancers have been reduced to 45 in the fleet. Recently, the United States flew a long-range B-1B bomber over the Korean Peninsula, its first bombing drill with South Korea in 7 years. Our President Chris Osborne was invited as a military expert for RTVI's discussion and outline for the future of the B-1B bomber. Here are Chris's thoughts.
B1-B Lancer, the bomber, is less recognized to a large degree, yet it's also a long-standing workhorse in Iraq and Afghanistan. It dropped massive amounts of ordnance. It emerged in 1998 in an operation called Desert Fox. It's a long-range, high-altitude strategic bomber. It's not super stealthy. It looks kind of sleek. And one of the things the Air Force often looks at is what they call a bomber vector, which is the fleet and how many bombers they need, what kinds of bombers, and when will they arrive. So much of it is timing. Now, the B-1B is a legacy aircraft. It's been around for at least a decade or two, but it needs to be continued because the B-21, the new stealth bomber, the B-21 Raider, that's arriving in slower increments. It's not clear exactly when they'll get to an operational number of those. There are only 20 B-2s, which is the equivalent stealthier kind of long-range bomber. So the question then becomes extending the service life of the B-1B. I've talked to pilots who say a lot of people don't recognize how B-1B pilots, how many bombs were dropped by B-1s in Afghanistan and Iraq. It's a workhorse bomber. So here's the thing. They've made several key upgrades. One of them is called a bomb rack unit, which is to massively increase the bomb bay capacity as much as 60%. And as you mentioned in your report, drops lots of JDAMs, precision-guided, GPS-guided, even laser-guided bombs, which is of great significance. It also received greater communications and radio networking and C4ISR electronics for more in-flight data networking and intelligence sharing. It makes a lot of sense. A lot of legacy planes can almost become different planes with a variety of computer and software upgrades, weapons and fire control, communication systems. That's the case with the B-2. It's the case with bombers like the B-52, which may fly 100 years. So the idea is to extend the service life of the B-1B long enough until sufficient numbers of the B-21 can arrive so they don't have a deficit. For a long time, the Air Force has been writing reports, one of them called a bomber vector, that they feel the current bomber fleet is insufficient to meet the need, to meet the threat. So it makes sense it would be used as kind of a workhorse. I would almost say a foundational element of the Air Force bomber fleet.